Brighton beat Chelsea, which is, not unremarkable, but the nature of the way they beat Chelsea, they came from behind to win 2-1. They had two real injury issues in the first half that were kind of completely dismissed by Roberto De Zerbi, tweaked his team, brought on another new superstar in Julio Enciso, it looks like, who scored a fantastic goal. And I just think the way Brighton are playing at the minute, Miles, you can chip in with this one, but they're one of the best teams to watch at the moment, aren't they, Brighton? They look fantastic again in this game.
Yeah, I think Lampard was quoted afterwards saying, we'll probably sign 5 more of their players. No, but seriously, we are in a relegation battle now. It's awful, isn't it? Brighton just made Chelsea look exactly what they've been all season, incredibly average. Yeah. Even the fact that they went behind in this game, it didn't look worried about that, did they? They continued to fight forward. Evan Ferguson, when he was on, he had some really good chances. I think he hit the crossbar at one point. And if it wasn't for Kepa, then it could have been a lot worse, really. It's outstanding. I don't know what more we can say about Brighton, because it just seems like it just rinse and repeat, that they bring in a player that we've probably never heard of.
Yeah.
He shines for 5 games, and then all of a sudden he's a world-class footballer worth 80 million. So they've probably got another one on their hands now. I think the only downside for Brighton at the moment is it's been quite clear that Alexis McAllister will leave in the summer. Him and his agent have come out, spoken openly about that. But De Zerbi hinted that him and Matoma would be hanging around. So maybe Brighton can continue to build this phenomenal project. And actually, you asked me about Villa's hopes for top 4. I quietly think Brighton might be the favourites to take that 4th spot now. I think it's more between them and Newcastle than anyone else, because they've got 2 games in hand. And I know games in hand don't mean points on the board, and that's what you'd want at this stage of the season. But my word, they just look phenomenal. I don't really know how you stop Brighton.
I think the way that Roberto De Zerbi not only is integrated into this team, which was, Graham Potter's, it was Graham Potter's to the core. He kind of not just did that, but put his twist on it as well. And we said that at the time, that appointment was a very positive one from Brighton, because his reputation is as a very attacking manager. And he's brought that approach to a Brighton team that was always traditionally struggling to score. Again, a very Graham Potter thing. But De Zerbi has made it effortless, hasn't he, Dave? It's the way that Brighton score goals and create goals, and the intensity they bring to every single game is Roberto De Zerbi's hallmark, isn't it? What a manager, and what a style of football he's imposed on this team.
Yeah, and I think obviously you just have a look at the amount of chances they create per game. Ridiculous. I don't even understand how Chelsea were 1-0 up in this game, because the amount of chances that Brighton had in the first 15-20 minutes was just frankly insane. But I think one player you've got to talk about is Kaoru Mitoma. I think the way he's adapted to this team has been, nothing short of outstanding, and just how threatening he looks as one of, he's got to be one of, I think he's one of the best wingers in the league already. Just how well he's actually playing, and he's being relied upon as a match winner, and that's exactly what he is at the minute. He's creating chances. He's obviously scoring goals. It sounds, like Miles has already said, it is a bit ridiculous the way that a lot of their players are coming through, and they are looking like potential world-class players. And you've got really, obviously, give all the credit to the scouting team, the way obviously they're bringing these players in. I think you look at obviously Julio Enciso, he's been on the fringes a little bit, and he's just literally obviously given a couple of opportunities here and there. I think he scored 2 goals in his last 3 league games now, though. Which is
what a goal
really
as well.
impressive. Oh yeah, outstanding. Oh, you're not going to see many cleaner hits than that.
Great technique.
But yeah, I just feel as though it's another one of those as well. It's this season. The consistency that they're showing against all teams. If you look at even against a lot of the big teams, and the worrying thing for me actually as well, I actually quite fear playing Brighton. I know United have got Brighton in the semi-final. They've then got them in the league as well. They're just a team that you hate coming up against, because you know you're going to get a hell of a game.
Yeah, I think they're the only team I look at in Man City's running and go, they could probably cause City some problems. Literally the only game. So I think a lot of teams are going to struggle against them still with whatever's left. But I mean, I think if they win their only game in hand against Newcastle, they'll be 4 points behind. So is catching Newcastle realistic, do you think, Miles?
Yeah, I think it could be. It depends. Newcastle are such a funny team to analyse, because you keep waiting for them to drop off. And although they obviously will be incredibly disappointed with the result at the weekend, they did win 5 games in a row before that. So do we expect Newcastle to maintain the form they've been on to the end of the season, or does their fixture list kind of throw up a few spanners? It's going to be so tight, but I think Brighton definitely can.